Hello everybody, my name is Farzin and most of you know me by the name Frank Jacob. The name doesn't matter. I'm here on behalf of AMedics to just hold the end of our deal, which was we're coming up with new and more engaging educational material, including videos which will be posted on YouTube as of now, as of today. And to be honest with you, we have a long list of things we want to talk about, most of which are what you guys call as controversial questions or topics. It's good for you, and we're gonna, save you the trouble as of today, if you help us. But for today's topic, actually, I was thinking about, the most important part which you have incorporated into your studies, and that part is called recalls. I'm not saying if the recalls are good or bad, or if you have to put most of your concentration and focus on them. But like it or not, recalls are there. I'm sure that you like and you appreciate recalls being there, but this is not what AMC likes because it's just a piece of advice. I'm not a legal advisor, but I'm going to give you this as a special bonus. When you take your exam, actually before exam starts, they give you a piece of paper that you have to sign. And on that piece of paper, you commit to that you are not allowed to share any part of what you see on your screen, whether it's the question, whether it's the options, anything. You're not allowed to share them with anybody when you step out of the exam venue. But it happens. Recalls are there and they're part of your studies. Like I said, I'm not a judge or jury for that. I'm not commenting on any of the very famous phrases and expressions that if you want to pass the exam you have to do the recalls of the past 6 months and blah 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 blah. I'm not talking about that, but the fact is that you're using recalls, and if you're using recalls, I want you to use them correctly. And this is gonna be the topic for today. So what I mean by use the recalls correctly, the name is self-explanatory. A recall question is a question or a part of a question has been recollected from someone from the time of the exam under cortisol surge, under a lot of stress, and that might lead to the fact that the person who's posting up the recall is not posting the exact question he was seeing on screen. And that's for a fact. It's sad but true. But the saddest part is that you guys on any social media are fighting over that incomplete and castrated question. Let me put it that way. Castrated question. And it's not good. I've seen a lot of times that you are fighting over some incomplete scenarios with lacking pieces of information and lacking options. That's the funniest part. You guys, like, for example, see a scenario which you're like, oh my God, what the hell does that even mean? And you scroll down and see just 3 options, and for the rest of the year all of you guys are fighting over 3 options. Like the option is A, the correct option is A, is B, and someone comes up and shouts is C. No one talks about options D and E. So what do we need to learn from this? Recalls are good in one sense, and that is that at least they give you a general perspective of the trend on which the questions are up and down. Like, for example, during a specific period of time, something becomes a trend, and the exam question writers put most of their, more of the focus on that, and that topic becomes a trend. And it doesn't become a trend unless AMC or just authorities feel that this part is some sort of causing a problem in Australia. For example, like doctors who are from overseas don't know how to deal with the topic X, so they're going to test on topic X more frequently. I hope you get the point. Regardless of the rationale behind the trends, I want to talk to you about how to use these recalls in your favor. First thing you need to know, if the recall is incomplete, if it doesn't make any sense to you, I'm not saying leave it aside, put it aside. I'm just saying don't put too much stress, focus, energy, and time on that. Just get the main point off of that and leave the rest. Let me give you an example. For example, a young lady, a young girl, 16 years old, comes to your clinic with amenorrhea and like low BMI. So from this, and the options are missing, and the other part of the question, the scenario, are missing as well. At least you can get this, that the question writer is thinking about amenorrhea and its relation to low body weight, probably the things you need to consider, the investigation you need to order, your differential diagnosis, and stuff like that. This is a good thing. So you Google amenorrhea, like for example Australia guideline, and you can see a bunch of guidelines references, and you can go through them and make your pick. And you can have a general idea of what if this scenario appears in my exam. So you have a better understanding of the condition and how to deal with that. Okay, this is the first part. So at least the recalls, regardless of their accuracy, regardless of the missing options, they give you a general sense of what you're gonna be dealing with at your exam probably. The second thing is that apart from the trend or the topics that the exam questions are revolving around, you might even be lucky enough to see some real exam question or similar to real exam questions and save some time and energy or learn something off of them. For example, I give you something. Let me switch back to my screen here and see what's going on. Okay. This is a recall group. My mouse doesn't move. Yeah, here. I came across this topic. Jealousy is the main component of, and there are 4 options for that: schizo, depression, mania, OCD. And actually this question grabbed my attention a lot, and I'm like, what the hell you guys are doing in this group? So let's take a look at comments. And before that, before even we go to the answers, let's take a look at the question itself. Jealousy is the main component of schizo. Look at the wording, dash, schizo, dash. Second option, depression. Third, mania. Fourth, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. And to me, this question is just stupid. It doesn't make any sense. So any fight over that would be nonsense. Why? I want you to scrutinize the question and extrapolate as much information as you can, and just monitor the question for its accuracy. Jealousy is main component of which one of these options, schizophrenia, depression, mania, OCD, which one of these options has jealousy as a diagnostic criteria? None. For schizophrenia, like, has it ever happened to you that the patient's like, doctor, I'm so jealous of my girlfriends. I think that behind my back, he's, just flirting with my friends and sleeping with them, blah, 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 blah. And the doctor's like, oh, you have a schizophrenia because you're jealous. Doesn't make sense, does it? So, what about depression? For depression, we need cyclic, low mood for at least 2 weeks, like lack of energy, lack of motivation, lack of, sleep, appetite screwed, suicidality, stuff like that. Okay, and there is no just aggravator. There is no factor that has led to this constellation of symptoms. We come up with diagnosis of depression. What the hell is jealousy in the diagnostic criteria? You need the patient to be jealous in order to make a diagnosis of depression? No way. Mania? Not at all. OCD? Obsessive compulsive disorder. Yeah. We might have obsessions, and this obsession might be just like being jealous. And for the matter, because we get this anxiety associated with this obsession, we check on our partner frequently as a ritual in order to reduce the anxiety. So yeah, it could be, but still, jealousy is not a main component of obsessive compulsive disorder. Obsessions might come in so many forms, and jealousy could be one of them. I'm going to talk about that later on a bit. And also, as a bonus material, I'm going to put down a link under this video for you to click on and check the correct question and the full options and the full explanation. I'll learn a bit about that. So, okay, back to the question. So, as far as I can see, jealousy can't be the main component of any of these options: schizophrenia, depression, mania, OCD. But jealousy could be the main component of what? Jealousy. Without jealousy, there is no jealousy. So it could be a main component of jealousy. And let's scroll down and see what others have to say here. A second question, and this was posted on January 5th, probably 2021, and October 3rd. This guy has come up with some sort of variation. Same question, same stem. Jealousy is the main component of schizo. A dash is gone, an A is just added. A, B, C, D. Wow, great. Jealousy is the main component of schizo, depression, mania. Exactly. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste with slight variations. Like instead of A, B, C, D, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of one dash, we have two dashes or no dashes at all. Jealousy is the main component of schizo, depression, mania. Come on, guys. Instead of just posting your own version, just look it up and add your comments under that. Help others to just find something useful. Jealousy is the main component of schizophrenia. Jealousy is the main component. This guy has put numbering 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Jealousy is the main component of, again, and we're looking for final correct answer. Jealousy is the main component of schizo, depression, mania. Jealousy is the main component of the schizo, blah, blah, blah. Oh, something very interesting. Jealousy is the main component of, we have, instead of 4 options, at this question, we have 5 options. Jealousy is the main component of schizo, depression, normal jealousy, mania, OCD. Which option could sound great? Like I said, I was a joke, but apparently that was the question. Jealousy is the main component of normal jealousy. Without jealousy, we don't have any jealousy. So for this question, for this recall, regardless of being right or wrong, I would go with normal jealousy as the best option. Option C, normal jealousy. Again, oh my God, jealousy is a component of a schizophrenia, OCD. Cool. A castrated scenario, just 2 options. And we have 23 comments on that. Unbelievable. Let's see the comments. C. We have option A, option B, and someone says C. Comment C as the correct option. And I'm afraid that I might see a question with just 1 option and everyone's fighting over that single option, and someone comes up and says it's B or C or D or E for that matter. Come on, guys, don't do that. Okay, jealousy is the main component of schizo, depression, mania, OCD. So first things first, when you take a look at a scenario, when you're reading a scenario, recall or whatever question, just non-recall questions have a standard scenario, so you don't get any problems with that. But for recalled scenarios, parts are missing to the cortisol and stress hormone, effects, and the fact that memory fades over time. So jealousy is the main component of schizo. Jealousy is the main component of. Does it sound, like sound to you? We don't know any medical condition with jealousy being a diagnostic criteria. Actually, we have something called morbid jealousy, but it's not a diagnosis. It's actually a condition associated with some mental illnesses. And I believe that this is what they're trying to convey, trying to just imply, trying to understand if you know. So, again, the same. We have a very good question. Thank you, Dr. Ghulam Rahman. December 26, 2020. Morbid jealousy associated with alcoholism, schizophrenia, depression, obsessive compulsive mania. Now, this question starts to sound more rational. And let me put it this way. The real question not the exam question. The real question could be something like this. This is from AMEDEX AMC question bank. Let me remove hide explanation and hide the correct option. This is the question. Which one of the following conditions is more likely to be associated with morbid jealousy? I come again. Which one of the following conditions is more likely to be associated with morbid jealousy? Now we have an entirely different story compared to what you were seeing there. This question asks, we have a set of mental conditions that could or could not be associated with jealousy. Which one of the following conditions, if we find as a diagnosis, could be associated with jealousy, morbid jealousy? Let me tell you the difference. All of us are some sort of jealous, have been jealous at some points in our lives. Like, for example, when we fell in love for the first time, and if another boy, another, hunk, another, cool guy looked at our girlfriends, we would go jealous. So, but a little bit of, rational jealousy is good, actually. And it's a very normal human behavior and emotion. Emotion is a better just term. But if it goes beyond a certain level that causes the person, the individual with some problems, we call it morbid jealousy. Morbid jealousy is not a diagnosis. Morbid jealousy is a condition that could be associated as a comorbid condition with some mental disorders, of which schizophrenia is the most common, so I believe it's going to be the correct answer. Schizophrenia. And this is the rationale behind that. You can read all we just wrote. And I'm going to give you this question, the link to this question for free as a discount, as a bonus for you, for our debut. And and we have two references here. Actually, I highly recommend that you read this article by HHC here. Phenomenology and predisposing, I'm just reading this small tab here. Let me scroll up. And predisposing factor for morbid jealousy in a psychiatric outdoor, a cross-sectional descriptive study. Actually, it's a very good study. It's going to give you tons of information as to this topic. And you were lucky because you saw that thing as a recall, so you Googled it up. You Googled it, morbid jealousy or jealousy plus mental disorder, and you come up with some, search results, of which this one is a great one. And if you go through that, just skim that, you're going to get a lot of information. For example, that morbid jealousy, what is morbid jealousy? Morbid jealousy is more common in men than women, and in men, it's more common in married men than single men. One of the advantages of marriage. So this is why they're like, are you married or happy? I'm married. No, I'm happy. I'm married. Okay. This is the table from which we took the information, the data for our explanation. It's a very good question. Schizophrenia is number one. According to the study, schizophrenia was the most common mental disorder associated with morbid jealousy. As you can see, we have three types of jealousy, morbid jealousy: delusional, overvalued, and obsessional. And it's not like obsessional jealousy is seen in obsessive compulsive disorder, or delusional is only seen in schizophrenia. Any mental condition could have any of those, either standalone or in combination. For example, in this study, they found that schizophrenic patients are most likely to have jealousy, and their jealousy comes in the form of delusional most of the time. Almost all of the cases in that study were which had schizophrenia and had morbid jealousy. The type of the morbid jealousy was delusional. The second most common is depression, which has all three types of jealousies, like delusional 7%. 7% of patients had delusional jealousy, 5% overvalued, and obsessional. So this is a very good thing, and it all came up from a recall because you took your time to Google it, to do some digging around that, and now you have a lot of beautiful new information for yourself. So if another exam, another question centers around jealousy, morbid jealousy, you're prepared for that. You know what I mean? So just to recap this topic, schizophrenia is the most common mental disorder associated with morbid jealousy, and the most common type of morbid jealousy in schizophrenia is delusional. Depression comes next. It has all three types of jealousy: substance abuse disorder, alcoholism, drug dependence, stuff like that. Bipolar mood disorder comes fourth, and at the end comes the other, like OCD, general anxiety disorder, dementia. Diagnosis not clear. It's a good diagnosis. Diagnosis not clear is a very good diagnosis to get. It's a good disease to get. Okay, so, and you see, in substance abuse disorder, 10% of patients in that study had delusional jealousy, morbid jealousy, not the other types. Bipolar, only delusional. Okay, so let me give you another example here. If I'm the question writer and I'm going to be harsh on you, I'm going to come up with a question: which one of these subtypes of morbid jealousy is most common in psychiatric disorders? Which one? Just based on that table. Delusional, isn't it? So we have morbid jealousy. We can just wrap it up like morbid jealousy could be seen. Not, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily seen. You know, I mean, like schizophrenia. If a patient has a mental disorder, they could have morbid jealousy, and if they have morbid jealousy, the type is most likely or more likely to be delusional. Okay, so we know a lot about morbid jealousy. Morbid jealousy is a main component of diagnosis to nothing but jealousy. Okay, so just to recap this video, I'm going to tell you what you want to do about recalls. First of all, don't trust on recalls at all. They're just recalls. Big pieces of information might be gone. Important options, including the correct ones, might be gone, might be missing, or not remembered correctly, recalled correctly, and which is bad. But generally speaking, you can use the recalls to see what is likely to come in your exam, and you get a very good sense of the question trends, and you can work around them. The second thing I want to tell you about the recalls is that, so I believe that I've talked enough about how to use recalls in your advantage. And the next thing I want to tell you, let me get back to my screen so you guys can see me again. Okay. The last thing, but not the least, which actually this one is very important. I see that some of you guys are lazy enough just to rely on the recalls as a source for your exam preparation. And you go to all of the groups you can put your hands on, and you just start gathering recalls and seeing the correct option, and the correct option to you is the more agreed upon option, just the consensus, which is wrong in 50% of the times. So never rely on what other people believe is the correct answer. Do your own research. Dig it up for yourself. And this way, recalls are going to help you a lot. So that was it for recalls and how to deal with them. That would be great if you guys can just come up with some ideas, and if you just let me know what topics you would like to be discussed in this series. And I believe that in order to get these videos more useful and enriching, I think that you guys need to be more involved. Please do me a favor. Click that damn subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever I come with a new video. And also do me a favor, comment under this video what topics are going to help you more, or how these videos could be possibly more useful to you. I can't wait to hear from you guys, and I think that this is time for my late lunch, so bye. See ya.